Sing to him. Sing praises to him. Oh, yes, yes. You ought to sing a song of praise. You ought to be glad. You ought to sing a song of praise. And I've discovered that there is something that happens when you praise and pray in the midst of a bad situation. And I've discovered that when blessings go up, when praises go up, blessings come down. I've discovered that it doesn't matter how dark it is, as they discovered, when you learn how to pray and praise, God can turn some stuff around. Are locked up in jail. They are in a bad situation, locked up, tied up, tangled up. There is no way they are going to get out of this mess. They know that death is soon on the agenda and it doesn't look good. The Roman officials can't stand them. The bars are now blocking them. 2 guards are on every side of them. But Paul said, I tell you what, Paul Silas, if you pray, and I'll praise. If you pray, and I'll praise. If you pray, I don't mind singing. I can't nobody do me like Jesus. He is an awesome God. He may not come when I want him to come, but he'll show up. And you know what the story says at midnight, at the darkest hour. They're like at midnight when things look bad. At midnight, when it looked like there was no way they was going to get out of that mess. When midnight, when all hope was gone, God showed up because there was a praise party going on. And there ought to be somebody that can testify that I've been at some of the darkest hours in my life. And when I couldn't pay my way through, I've learned how to praise my way through. I've learned how to praise my way through. I've learned how to sing that Jesus will fix it and he'll fix it after a while. I've learned how to sing that can't nobody do me like Jesus. I've learned how to sing that God will open doors. He will open doors. I've learned how to sing that I've got a friend in Jesus. And with a friend in Jesus, it's going to be all right. Wonderful works. And you know why? Some people amazes me when they say it don't take all night. I don't get excited. But the same folks that say they don't get excited about the Lord get excited about the Cowboys, and you never know what they're going to do. Notice what he says. Glory, verse 10, to his name. Let the heart of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Notice, look to the Lord for strength and learn how to seek his face always. Yeah. And it says, the psalmist says, David writes that one thing I've discovered when I don't know how I'm going to make it, when it is hard, when it is difficult, when I have struggles on every hand, that if I can just seek the face of God, and I know if God shows up, and I can just seek his face, if God shows up, he will show out. If I can just seek his face, I know it's going to be all right. That if I can just seek his face in my tough situation, that God will fix it. And when I can't see nothing else, as long as I can see his face, I'm all right. If I realize that God is with me, I can make it because I know that greater is he that is with me than he that is with the world. And if God before me, he's greater than the world against me. And I can't find nothing else, and I can just find his face, I know it's going to be all right. So he said, give praise and sing the Lord. Yeah, but not only, he says we ought to give praise and sing to the Lord. But the other thing he says that we need to learn how to do is verse 12. We need to learn how to remember. Remember the wonders he's done. Now the problem with many of us is we have spiritual Alzheimer's. We can't remember what God has done for us. And in fact, let me tell you, some of y'all are right there with Janet Jackson. You always ask the Lord, what have you done for me? Lately, yeah. You need to remember the wonders he has done. Remember what he has done, he says. And the way you give credit to God is you got to remember what the Lord has already done. Verse 12. Remember the wonders he has done, his miracles, his judgments. Notice in verse 15. Remember, you got to learn how to remember what God has done. And the reason why some of us are always fretting and frantic about what God is able to do is because we just can't remember what God did for us yesterday. And when you can remember what God has already done, what he did for you yesterday, it lets you know that the same God that made a way for me yesterday is the same God that made a way for me today. And so that's why I don't worry about tomorrow, because Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. You ought to never forget. You ought not never forget what God has done for you. The reason why the children of Israel was always in a mess, because they just couldn't remember the great God that they served. You remember 400 years they were in bondage under Pharaoh, and God led them out with his mighty and powerful hand by sending the 10 plagues to demonstrate that there is no God like the God he is. That it demonstrated that he is. I am who I am. I'm bad. I am bad. God said, I'm bad. And so he leads them out of Egypt by his mighty and powerful hand. Well, they got down to the Red Sea, as I said. Red Sea before them, Pharaoh's army behind them. Instead of the Israelites remembering the God that brought them out, they begin to complain. Maybe we should have stayed in Egypt. Maybe we should have stayed. You brought us out here for him to kill us right here. But you know what? God is a God of another chance. He said, man, I know you're hard-headed. Just stretch out your hand, Moses. And they walked through on dry ground. They got on the other side. But then they got hungry, they got thirsty, and they needed something to drink. And they said, we could have died of thirst in the wilderness. Why did you bring us out here in the desert where there is no water? Not realizing if God can part the sea, he can bless you with some water. Yeah, but they got hungry. We need some bread here, God. We are hungry. And instead of saying, God, you provided water, I know you can provide me some bread, they began to complain because they forgot about the good God that they serve. And so they began to complain, God, we ain't got no bread. But God allowed manna to come down from heaven so that every day they could have their daily bread. But you know, it was just like us. It's just like us. We ain't happy with just the bread. We got to have a little meat to go with it. And God, I thank you for the bread, but I wish I had a piece of chicken right about now. But you know what? God gave them chicken. God gave them quail. God provided for them, even though they kept complaining about what they didn't have. But when they got thirsty again, God said, I know if I did it before, I can do it again. And every now and then, you need to remember what God has done for you. And when you can remember what God has done for you back then, it'll give you the strength to make it right now. And the reason why some of us are always complaining is because you don't remember what the Lord done did for you. You don't remember when you were hungry, he fed you. When you were naked, he clothed you. When you needed a roof over your head, he put a roof over your head. When you were out there, he brought you in. When you were in trouble, he made a way for you. And when you look at your circumstances now, when you look at your circumstances now, you instead of complaining, you ought to say, God, I don't feel no ways tired. I don't feel no ways tired. I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy, but I just don't believe. I just don't believe they brought me this far to leave me now. And when you can remember where God has brought you from, you ain't got to pray. You can praise God in spite of your circumstance right now. And the reason why you got to keep on remembering what God has done is because God is remembering all the stuff he is gonna do for us. Oh yeah, no, the covenant. See, in verse 15, he remembers. See, you gotta remember because God remembers. Verse 15, he remembers his covenant, and notice the text, forever.